All right, let's get started today. Welcome to our webinar, How to Optimize Your Website for Maximum Conversions and Lead Flow. My name is Carl Willis, and I'm with Agent Branding and Marketing. I'm the director of pay-per-click. And so we'll be talking today primarily about your website, how to boost those optimizations, how to boost the lead flow without having to spend any more money on ads or any further money on your marketing, but really how to take what you have now and raise the conversion effectiveness of your current website. So real quick, this is part of what's called our digital dominance method. And what the digital dominance method is all about is these are the components of a marketing ecosystem that are going to make you most effective in today's digital landscape. This ecosystem is numbered. Over here on the right-hand side, you'll see SEO is number one. That's the foundation of everything. SEO today is more than just your Google rankings, but even Google has multiple offshoots of that ranking system. There's mobile ranking, there's voice engine ranking, there's maps ranking, and then there's the traditional Google search rankings as well. Then you've got pay-per-click, which is paid ads, Google AdWords, Bing, Yahoo, the whole Microsoft ad network is what that incorporates. Then you've got your retargeting. Today's average consumer is going to take about 7 to 12 steps in their buying decision process. And so we want to retarget, stay in front of those individuals. We use Google, we use Facebook as two of our modes of making that happen, staying with that prospect through the entire buying process. And it'll make sure I get the waiting room cleared out. Yep. Then we've got online paid directories. That's going to be places like Yelp, yp.com, Superpages. Then there's your own repeat business, your referral business. If you're buying leads, you have pay-per-lead providers. And then social media advertising, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, all of those would be part of that environment. And then finally, your referral program. Now, in the middle of your ecosystem sits your website. And that's what we're going to really focus on today is your website. How to raise those conversions, how to raise the lead flow, how to get better performance out of your website. And also, I know in today's audience, some of you are independent agents, some of you are captive agents. So if you're a captive agent, obviously there's some things you're not going to be able to do, but I'm going to give you some tips to increase the conversion effectiveness even of your captive site so that it performs better for you. So that being said, let's do a little housekeeping here. Number one, we all have smartphones. We all have people wanting to talk to us, but let's turn those off for the next 45 minutes and focus in on the task at hand. Second, turn off Facebook. It'll still be there when you get done. And then finally, if you're serious about doubling or tripling the leads that you pull from, and it shouldn't be your home remodeling website. Sorry, I use this for one of our other verticals. For your insurance website, then you're going to want to pay attention the next 60 to 90 minutes. Now, why should you listen to me? I've been marketing online since 1997. I started marketing vases on eBay in the days of 36.6 dial-up. So I've been at this for a while. I'm a former financial advisor, Series 6, 7, 63, 65 Life A&H, had my own firm for about 12 years. I'm the author of Internet Marketing for Small Business. I created the Marketing Classroom. I'm an international keynote speaker on business growth and lead generation, and widely accepted as a go-to expert for insurance agency digital marketing strategies. And then I work with local agents across the United States. So that's what gives me the ability to speak to you today, is just many years of expertise and experience. So let's get into the problem here. First of all, the problem is you need more leads day by day. You need more leads so you can bring in more prospects, so you can close more business. And the thing that we want to understand, though, is when you're marketing online, that doesn't come cheap. There is a big investment you're making in marketing. And so we want every dollar to count. If you're going to put a dollar out there, then we want to make sure that it goes to work for you and it works hard. And so when you're making that big investment in marketing, here's the danger sometimes. You can get a lot of traffic, but not get enough leads. So you pull up your Google Analytics, or if your agency has a dashboard to record your website traffic, you'll see lots of page views, you'll see lots of traffic coming to the website, but you're just not generating the leads out of that traffic that you need to. And so what happens is you end up with a low return on investment, meaning that for every dollar you spend, you're getting 50 cents back or 30 cents back or 20 cents back. You're not breaking even, and you're certainly not profitable in your marketing expenses. And so the thing that we want to make sure that we do is that, we bring that marketing to a positive, because what happens is if you don't have the lead flow, you have an idle team and your schedule is empty. You're not talking to prospects and customers. And so we want to make sure that we don't get into that situation. And then what happens is you have a marketing failure. You're not generating enough leads for your investment, and you can't grow because you're not getting the momentum from your lead flow. You're not getting enough prospects coming in to generate enough new business to make it really profitable for you. And so what we want to do is focus on how do you build a great site that is built to convert. And so if you've been out to our website, obviously we have a lot of conversion features built into our website. You'll learn about those today as we go through. And that way you can see what you can implement and put into your own business. So what we're after is to consistently convert visitors to callers and to leads. And we're going to focus really on a couple of modalities of lead flow today: form submissions, phone calls, messages, and text. And so we'll deal with all of those today as we talk. So that's our objective, is to do that consistently, to convert those visitors to callers and to leads. Now, when we do that, what's going to happen is your sales team is going to be working, and they're going to be working with a full schedule. In fact, the challenge may be that they have to slow up. In fact, earlier today, I had a call with one of our clients that had to ask me to back off of their paid advertising for a little bit because they couldn't keep up with the phone volume. So it's a good problem to have. He's having to hire extra staff. And when you do this right, sometimes that may be the challenge, is who else is going to need to be in that equation so you can keep up with the demand. So let's continue on here. When that happens, you have momentum and you have consistent growth. And so the thing we don't want to have is start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. We want to be able to maintain momentum throughout the year, and we want to be growing consistently year over year, quarter over quarter, seeing those numbers continue to increase as we go. And then when you find success, what really happens is your phones start ringing, you're writing new policies, and your business starts booming. Or in your case, Sue, you're writing more housing contracts, buying and selling. And so what we want to do is we want to see all of those things happening. Phones ringing, new business is being written, and your overall numbers are improving month after month, year after year. But here's the key: the website is the hub. And so it's central base to everything that you do. And the philosophy that I want to put in front of you is the idea of the ecosystem. You'll hear me use that term quite often in our teaching times. So the ecosystem is this: it's this environment that revolves around your online presence. Now, really, in today's world, you have two hubs for your ecosystem. One is your website. The other one is your Google business profile. But we're going to focus on your website because it is the primary hub. Even your Google business profile is going to point people back to this. So what we're trying to do is we want to use things like our social media and our advertising and our other avenues of engagement to push people into the website. But then once we have them in the website, what we want to do is we want to reconnect them to all of these social pieces, all of these informational pieces outside of the website. So it becomes a constantly moving, constantly flowing ecosystem, people flowing into the website, flowing back out to your social channels, flowing back in. So we want to give people a reason to be visiting you constantly and frequently. Now, as we move on, here's why conversion is so important to this conversation. And I'm going to give you a couple of scenarios here. So scenario number one, we've got 1,500 visitors per month, and our website is converting at a 5% conversion rate. What that means is out of those 1,500 visitors, every month we're going to generate 75 calls or 75 leads. And if we convert those through our sales process on the back end at 30%, that means we're going to get 22 new applicants this month into our agency. And if we're getting $450 per transaction, we write those 22 new policies. That's going to give us $10,125 in earned revenue. Now, scenario number two is going to be same numbers, except we're going to change those conversion rates. So we get 1,500 visitors a month to our website, but now we've increased our conversion rate by just 10%. We've gone from 5% to 15%. And when we do that, what's going to happen is we're going to end up with 225 calls or leads per month out of those same 1,500 visitors. So we have more than tripled our lead flow simply by changing that conversion number. If we still convert on the back end at 30%, that means we're going to write 66 new policies to our new applicants at the same transaction value. Now we have $30,000 in revenue versus $10,000 in revenue. So what we've done is we have tripled the leads and the revenue simply by improving our conversion rate on our website. And let me say this, typically, if you will just be 10% better than your competition, you're going to be multiples better in your final result. This is something that I preach to our clients all the time. Just be 10% better. Be 10% better at your social media, have your website convert 10% better, put out 10% more content, make 10% more phone calls. Just do that extra 10% and it will pay multiples in what you do. Now, can conversion optimization really have an impact on your overall numbers? Well, this is a case study for you. You've got a client here. They spend $2,490 a month for SEO services. They are generating 1,598 leads per month from SEO, all coming from their website and their Google business profile. So they're paying $1.56 per lead based on those numbers. So here's the breakdown. Out of those leads, 1,457 came from organic searches, meaning they were ranking well online for their terms. They received 429 phone calls organically off the website. They got 32 web forms submitted. And they had 1,137 calls from their Google Maps profile. And so all of these pieces of the ecosystem working together, what that's doing is it's driving down their cost per lead. So what a lot of agents end up doing is they end up buying leads. And the problem you get with buying leads is leads are typically resold up to 10 times. They're not unique to you. They're not exclusive to you. And so the conversion rates tend to be very low. Typically around 3% is a kind of an average. If you're really good, maybe 10%. And that's kind of the challenge. If you're going to pay $10, $15, $20, $25 a lead, you certainly would want a better conversion. But at the same time, if we do things right, we're able to not only bring you more leads, we're able to drop the price of the lead overall. So let's move on. Why is getting your website built to convert so important to you? Well, the reason it's important to you is at the end of the day, it's going to really affect your bottom line profitability. What difference does it make if you make $500,000 a year in gross revenue but keep very little of that because your cost per acquisition was so high. And so what we want to help you do in the rest of our time is really increase those acquisitions at a much lower cost, at a much higher rate, so that your profitability is much greater in the long run. Now, there is a workbook that goes along with this webinar. Feel free to download it. agentbrandingandmarketing.com, convert-workbook. And what that's got in there, it's going to have really the key points for you. And then you can take some notes there as well if you feel like doing that. Now, let's continue on here. There are 12 critical elements to enhancing conversion, and these are in the workbook. But we'll go through them here very quickly, and then we're going to break them down for you a little bit at a time. First element is you've got to speak to your target avatar. Your avatar simply being the profile of your best, most profitable customer. Who are they? What are their fears? What are their frustrations? And most importantly, what is your unique selling proposition? Why in the world should they choose you out of all their other options? Second thing is you need to be real. Use authentic images of your team, of yourself on the homepage and throughout the website. If you are a self-branded agent, real estate agent or an insurance agent, and it's your name on the building, on the billboard, then you need to be the face with the place, and your audience needs a steady diet of you, because people do business with those that they know, like, and trust. Before COVID, the way we did that is we got out and we networked. We let people get to know us in real life events, and we, got to showcase our personality and our expertise. Well, anymore, we have to do all of that online. And so your imagery is going to be a big piece of that. Use images throughout your website. Use video if you have that opportunity. Put a short video in there introducing yourself, introducing your team, introducing your philosophy of business, introducing your community involvement. Video converts better than textual information, and video stirs the emotion. Now a person can hear you. They can see if they really resonate with you. It's a great way to do things. And let me also say this, when we're dealing with imagery and videos, make sure they're fairly current. Some agents are horrible about putting a picture that was taken 20 years ago when they started the business. It's the professional headshot that they took. And now they don't have hair, or they've so changed their style and appearance, they don't look anything like the profile picture. Keep the profile picture up to date with who you are. Same thing in your videos. If your videos are a little dated, swap them out. Put something new in there. Here's some video ideas for you. Use a website welcome video, a video for each service that you offer or each product line that you offer, a video explaining why someone should contact you versus the competition. And this one is big, especially if you're a captive agent. If you're able to use video, this one thing could be the big difference maker, because you've got to be able to get outside of the brand and promote you, the individual. Why you? Why should I do business with you? That's the question you're trying to answer. Leverage social proof. Be sure and showcase your online reviews prominently on your homepage or somewhere else very prominent. There are some tools out there that you can use with your website, like Bird Eye or Review Buzz, that will help you do that as well, or even have graphics made that show those testimonials and put those on your site. Get all your basics in order. Make sure all the right information is there. Make sure the location is correct, phone number is correct. Put your phone number ideally in the top right-hand corner. If not there, the top left or very prominent in the center can also work. Here's the other thing, though. You want to make sure that phone number is a live link that once it's clicked, turns into an actual phone call. Also, make sure that there is a web form that customers can fill out, and then add credibility with authority symbols, Better Business Bureau, associations that you may be a part of, Chamber of Commerce. Any of those types of things are always helpful to build that trust factor. Ensure that you have clear calls to action on each page that speak to your customer avatar and tell them what to do next. And we want to keep this simple, like second grade level. Fill out the form to get a quote. Get a quote now. Call now. Those are the types of things we want to do. Really clear instructions. Call now. Fill out the form. Send me information. Request an appointment. There's several things you can put in there. Just short, sweet, and simple. But make sure it's clear that your avatar is going to understand that. Where it makes sense for you, use special offers and coupons that match the services they're in need of. And you may go, well, we don't have coupons and we don't have special offers. Well, create your own. Add some value to that. Add some value to your service. Hey, if you mention this particular offer or coupon code, we're going to do a complimentary X, Y, and Z as part of our service for you. These are just little value adds that set you apart above the competition. Remember, 10% more creates multiples. Number 8, make sure your website is mobile optimized so that when somebody pulls it up on their smartphone, it looks good. And most importantly, the click to call function is very readily apparent and works well. And then number 9, leverage live chat. If you've got that ability, if you can do that on your site, create a live chat feature as well. People want instant responses. They like that stuff. Start giving clients the option to book with you online. You can do that through programs like Calendly. Of course, site speed matters. One of the things that Google is really looking at in rankings these days is how fast is your website, and most importantly, how fast is it on mobile? So this is a really critical piece. If your site is slow, if it doesn't perform well, you really want to take a look at that because it's becoming a bigger ranking factor with Google. And then finally, engage your prospects with SMS and by phone using marketing automation. So we're going to break down this list piece by piece and give you a little insight and work through it here. So how do we optimize for conversion? Well, first thing we're going to do is we're going to go for that phone call. And there's a couple of reasons for that. Number one, a phone lead tends to be a better lead than a form submitted lead. And based on your company, if you're a captive agent, there are some companies now that are reducing payout for any policies that are written by a form submission. So it's better to drive the prospect to your phone so you can maximize the compensation plan. So here's some ways that we do that. This is one of our clients' sites, Billy Davis out of Maryville, Indiana. And you can see his phone number is up here in the top right corner. Easy to get to. If you click it, it's a clickable link and it's going to immediately place a phone call. Here's another optimization performance thing for you to kind of take in mind. How good can you get the performance? Well, here's a website where we've got our click to call ratio just using that click to call button at 32%. So 32% of the people who see that click to call are going to actually place a phone call. That means the website is targeted well, the traffic coming in is well targeted, and the response is very easy for them to take. So you can see they had 1,454 total sessions and they generated 495 total leads out of that. 24 of those were web forms, the rest were phone calls. So 32% phone call conversion rate. Good numbers. We did our example going from 5 to 15. This is more than doubling our top end that we used in the example. Next thing we want to look at is your website set to convert traffic to leads? So showed you Billy's website a moment ago. He's got his live click phone number, but look at all the other elements that are here when you hit the page. You click this big button to start a quote, it takes you into his quote system. If you hit personal quote, it takes you into his quote system. Business quote, trucking quote, takes you into his system. Even his policy servicing is on here in a button. Now, here's the thing I want you to understand. What's the one thing he's driving for? He's driving for quotes. What's the thing that's on his buttons? Quotes. And so he has set this up for conversion by giving a strong call to action and by making it very easy for somebody to respond to that call to action. Here's another example. This is US Home and Auto in Lutherville, Maryland. When you land on their page, it's just front and center in your face. There's a phone call up here. You can click that number and it's a live link. But then there's a form and you fill out the form, you click what type of insurance you want to do, hit get a quote, and off you go into the system. And so the simpler we make it for somebody to get that quote, the better off it is. The simpler we make it for them to become your lead, the better off you're going to be. If a person has to click multiple times, they have to go to multiple pages to get in contact with you or to fill out a form, you're going to lose them. People just don't have the attention span for that anymore. Now, moving forward, how can we get your website to convert like the website that we gave you the data on? Well, we just need to implement some things and we'll raise the conversion numbers very quickly. But we have to start with the person that we're trying to turn into a lead. If you can see Joe Jones through Joe Jones's eyes, then you can sell what Joe Jones is going to buy. And so you have to understand the mindset, you have to understand the motivations of your prospects and why they would want to do business with you. What is it they are looking for? And so the way we do that is we develop a customer avatar. And in our avatar, we're going to look at their pains and frustrations, their goals and desires, their fears and implications, and their dreams and aspirations. And one of the things that is going to be very valuable to you is to go through this exercise at some point and figure out your ideal customer avatar. Because the easy answer is, well, everybody should be my customer. No, there's a certain type of person that is ideal for you and for your business. And that's who we want to hone in on, because that's the person we need to speak to. And so we want to look at their demographics. You know, they're a homeowner, 35 years old. The female's driving the decisions. They're married with 2 to 3 kids, head of household. They make more than $65,000 a year, family oriented, reliable. They get frustrated easily. They like to please people. They expect the same in return. They're into gardening, crafts, arts, live in the suburbs, upper middle class neighborhood, and they're involved in their community. Pains and frustrations. They feel like there are too many demands on their time. They don't feel valued. They would like more balance in their life. They're too busy to deal with things. They're worried that they are one crisis away from a disaster. Their fears and implications. They don't want to be ripped off or overcharged. They don't want to pay too much for something they could have gotten cheaper somewhere else. They don't like having increased liability exposure. They're afraid of being harmed financially. They're concerned about the stability of their career. They want to make sure that their children have the best opportunities, and they don't want to see hidden charges and fees on their bill. And their goals and desires. They want to have a beautiful home. They want to take care of their family. They want more income, money, and wealth. They'd like to live in a nicer, more luxurious place, drive a nicer car. They want their kids to be healthy, happy, and successful, spend more time with their family, travel more, have the respect and approval of friends, family, and relatives. Most of all, they want peace of mind. And so when you understand your avatar, you can better speak to your avatar. And so if you haven't done this, be sure and do this exercise at some point, figure out who your avatar is, what makes them tick, and you'll find that your response to your marketing improves greatly. But these are where you're going to start with to figure out what you need to do to your website. So when we get into that, we need to start with messaging that works with that particular avatar. How can I best communicate with that individual in a way that they are going to respond to? And some of the key things that are going to be meaningful to them are terms like personalized service. You're not just a cookie cutter. You're not just another number in a larger machine, but the service is personalized. Straightforward pricing or upfront pricing, satisfaction guaranteed. You're working with a trustworthy local advisor or expert. These are all things that you can incorporate into your marketing. Everybody wants to work with an expert. Everybody wants to work with somebody they know, like, and trust. Everybody wants to know that what they're quoted is what they're going to pay. Everybody wants that personalized service, that little extra touch in what they do. Remember, extra 10% means the world. It will produce volume. So even if you give 10% better personalized service, you're going to be miles ahead of your competition. But you have to communicate that. So here's how you make the case. We have fast turnaround of policy applications. Or Sue, in your case, we have fast turnaround of offers, money saving offers, dedicated customer service managers, a local agent, no call center needed, and great service guaranteed. These are all things that will resonate with your audience if you communicate them well. Next thing you want to do is you want to be real and authentic. So one of the things we do on our site is we have pictures of all of our key leaders here at ABL. Gives a little background on us. You can see our smiling faces. You know who we are. You get to know us. You get to know our history. You need to do the same thing. Put images onto your website. And again, like I said, make sure they're current, not your photo studio shop from 15 or 20 years ago, but something that's pretty current, that looks a lot like you do today. As times change, styles change, hairstyles change, all sorts of things change. Don't be afraid to put yourself there. You are the face with the place. You are the brand, and you have to be fanatical about building your brand. People need to associate your name with the final result, not just your company name or not just your product. And so be real and authentic, get your picture out there, get current pictures out there. Even if you're a captive agent, make sure that your profile picture is current, that it's high resolution. And remember, that's like your logo. Even though you may be under a bigger company umbrella, that profile picture is your logo for your brand. So make sure that it's good, make sure that it's prominent, make sure it's everywhere, that it is easily seen. You also want to use video and multimedia as much as possible. Leverage those whenever you can. We use video case studies. We do case studies with our clients on a regular basis. Every time we do one, we upload them here. We also have other imagery. You go into our blog section. We've got accompanying imagery in our blog section. So we've got graphical content in a lot of places. We use video extensively on the website. You want to do the same thing. One of the reasons for doing that is not only does video appeal to a wider audience, it converts better, but here's the other little secret trick. Video keeps people on your website longer, and the time that a person is on your website is one of the main ranking factors that Google considers when ranking websites. So the longer we can keep people on the site, the better off we're going to be in the long run. So use video, use multimedia to your advantage. If you're a captive agent, obviously check that out with your compliance department. They may tell you it has to be a certain length or it can only cover certain topics, but use video to your advantage as you are allowed. Then you want to make sure that it is mobile friendly, because 4.8 billion people in the world are using one of these. 3 out of 5 consumers actually search for local businesses on their smartphone. And Google reports, get this, 40% of mobile customers turn to a competitor's website if they had a bad experience on a mobile website. And here's what I want you to understand. Maybe you're like me. I do all of my initial research on my smartphone, and I do all my heavy lifting on my laptop or my desktop later in the day or in the evening. But I do most of my primary research on my phone and then figure out what I want to dive deeper into later. Maybe you're the same way. So you need to think like your customer. What are they doing? And mobile is a big piece of that. What studies tell us is about 50 to 60% of search is currently mobile. And here's the other issue with mobile is all of the voice assistants, Siri, Alexa, Google Assistant, all work off of the mobile search side of Google's mobile search facility or Bing's mobile search facility. So keep that in mind, a little secret for you. So you want to make sure that it's mobile friendly. When somebody hits the page, is there a call to action? Can they click it? And can they get to where they need to be very quickly. The most important piece of that is click to call. If you hit our phone number on our website, it's going to immediately pop a button here that asks if you want to call. And when you click that, it's going to connect you to us immediately. And so we want to use that click to call functionality very heavily. We want to make sure that it's prominent on our website, not just the desktop version, but also the mobile version as well. And here's another little secret that has really begun to trend. Live chat is now proven to increase leads by an average of 35%. So if we add a live chat feature to the website, whatever our current conversion number is, we can sometimes up that by another 35 percentage points overall, or not overall, but from where we're at, simply by adding this feature. So if you'll notice, the button we have here actually has two modalities. If you click on it, you can go to Facebook Messenger and it'll send a message to our Facebook business page. Or if you click SMS, it will actually send an SMS message into our marketing platform. Our marketing platform is set up to call, to email, and to do SMS messages. And if you're on this webinar, you experienced a little of that because that's what the registration process was run through. A couple of other things that you'll see on our site, I'll just point out, these could be beneficial to you. We have strategy session buttons here and here, plus our phone number is up here as well. So when you hit this page, you actually have about 6 different lead generation entry points just by being here without ever having to scroll. And that's the real key, is we don't want people to have to scroll or click to get to the place of going from viewer to lead and prospect. We want to make that as seamless and easy as possible for that website viewer. Now, here's the key ideas that we just went over, and we'll just give you the recap here. Add authentic images of your team to the homepage and throughout the website. Add video elements to your website. That could be a welcome video, videos of your services and products, videos explaining why somebody should work with you and not your competition. Showcase your online reviews prominently. Use third-party services to do that if you need to. Get the basics in order. Make sure your phone number's on there. Upper right hand, upper left hand, prominent in the center. Any of those will work. Current heat maps suggest the upper right. Biggest thing is you want that to be a clickable link with as soon as somebody clicks it, it immediately goes to a direct phone call. Ensure that there's a web form that people can fill out, and then you can add credibility with symbols like the Better Business Bureau, chambers of commerce, other associations you're a part of. Update the calls to action, make sure they're consistent with who your avatar is and that it tells them what to do next. Get a quote, call today. Leverage coupons and offers that match the page a person is on, if those make sense for your business. Add live chat to the website. SMS and Messenger work well. And then offer clients the option to book online. That works very well to have that scheduling automation. So, is your website optimized for conversion? Is it optimized for people to call you? Is it optimized for people to go from viewer to lead and to do that seamlessly and easily? And this is where live chat comes in. Only 5 to 10% of visitors to the website actually are going to take action. And so they're going to call or they're going to fill out a web form. That means 90% of your visitors leave without ever calling. And we know they're in the market for your services in your service area, or they wouldn't be there. So what we need to do is try and capture them any way that we can. And so this is where live chat can become very helpful. Put that in there. How can we help you? How can I help you today? You can have a floating button, which is what we use on our site. There's a number of ways to implement that live chat feature. But remember, people use different modalities today to conduct business. Some would prefer the phone, some prefer in person, some prefer text, some prefer messenger, some prefer email. So we need to meet our prospects where they like to do business and be visible in those environments. So again, We use a floating chat button. You click on it. You can either send us a text or you can send us a Facebook message when you do that. Plus, you could give us a phone call, you could fill out a form, or you can go to the contact page and email us. So you've got a few ways to do that. Our favorite modalities, though, are these more immediate things, and that's what we push towards because we want to bring that prospect into our marketing automation, and we'll talk about that here in a minute as well. So before we do that, though, out of all the things we've covered, go ahead and write down the 3 steps that you need to implement into your website. What are the 3 things that you need to put into your website to make it more conversion friendly? Do you need a picture in there of yourself, of your team? Do you need a welcome video? Do you need a click to call functionality? Do you need to move your phone number somewhere more prominent on the page? Do you need to change your calls to action or create a call to action button? Do you need text and instant chat support? List out what those 3 things are so you've got that, because this webinar is only as good as the things you take away and implement. And so I don't want to just inform you. I want to be able to transform your business, and that only happens by application. Okay, next thing we want to get into, though, is the biggest marketing challenge, the biggest issue that is currently facing agents, and I just saw we misspelled that, I apologize for that, and agencies, and that is unconverted leads. And so leads that don't convert are a problem, and here's the real problem. 50 to 60% of your inbound traffic is going to leave unconverted, meaning they're not going to fill out a form completely. They're not going to place a phone call. And here's the real scary part of that. 90% of web forms fail to convert. That's why I say the phone call or the more responsive interaction is always better. And here's the reason 90% fail to convert. There are people like me, and maybe you're the same. I have a throwaway email address. And I use that throwaway email address when I want to buy something, but I don't want all the follow-up emails, or when I want to see what the offer is, but I have to provide my information to get that. And so I have my throwaway email address for just such occasions. Well, so do most people. And that's one of the reasons why web forms don't convert as strongly as they once did. Now, here's the why behind that. Leads that are not followed up within 15 minutes go cold. Remember, we live in an instant gratification society. People prefer to text because I can get an immediate response. So leads that are not followed up within 15 minutes go cold. And the average customer needs to have 5 to 7 touches before they will actually book an appointment with you, or they will make that phone call to you. Oftentimes. So we want to get those 5 to 7 touches in as quick as we can, because we want to get them on your calendar. We want to get them scheduled with you. We want to get you really talking business with them. Now, here's what's interesting. Today's consumer actually prefers to interact via text message over phone call or email. And so phone calls and emails are still valuable, but people like text message because of the simple, quick response and the short nature of the message. And so this is what we want to look at. It's about their ability to control the flow of the conversation. And so the solution is to leverage marketing automation tools to follow up with web forms within the first 2 minutes of submission via phone, email, and text message. Ideally, you want to follow up on all 3 modalities within that first 2 minutes. Automation is what's going to allow you to do that. And then you're going to automate the follow-up so that every prospect is touched 5 or more times and able to engage via 2-way text messaging within the first few minutes, those critical minutes. We want to get lots of touches in. And so that's the real solution. When we do that, here's what happens. We actually increase our conversions astronomically. And I'll give you 2 examples. We have 100 leads. Our conversion rate on our follow-up series, or our follow-up, is 30%. So the lead comes in, out of every lead we get, 30% of those are going to convert to closed business. So that means we're going to book 30 jobs or get 30 new policies, or we're going to have 30 new houses that go under contract, whatever that looks like for you. We're going to keep the math simple, low numbers here. Let's just say our average ticket is $650 is what we're going to earn out of that. Out of those 30 jobs, we're going to make $19,500. Now, if we take those same 100 leads, we're not spending any more on advertising. All we're doing is we're changing our conversion process on the back end. So what we've dealt with early in the webinar was the front end conversion. What happens when somebody's on your website? Now we're dealing with the back end conversion. They have called you, they've texted you, they've submitted a form. Now we're converting at 70% of those leads becoming closed business. At the same number, $650 in earnings, we're now going to increase those earnings to $45,500. So we have more than doubled our revenue simply by increasing our rate of conversion without changing the amount of leads we get and without having to spend any more money. And so conversion rate is so critical to maximizing the profitability of your business. And here's what we find, that every lead you generate has to become more valuable. And the way it becomes more valuable is you spend less to generate that lead and to convert it into closed business. So here's the thing we want to do. We want to implement this into your business. Everything I've discussed with you, you can actually do on your own. We also can do that for you. So if you want to hire us to do those things, we're available to do that. So the thing we want to look at, let's go back over those points though, is to, you've got these clear. Number one, speak to your target avatar, figure out who they are, what drives them, what motivates them, and speak their language. Most of all, answer the question, why should they do business with you? Secondarily, be real. Use authentic images of yourself. You are the face with the place of your team, of your office. Make things as authentic as possible so people can know, like, and trust you quicker. Use video and multimedia elements to engage the different modalities. Video converts better than text or still image. And so at the very least, use things like a welcome video, videos for each of your services, and a video explaining why somebody should contact you versus your competition. Leverage your social proof. Show those reviews on your website, get them front and center so people can see that people love doing business with you. Get your basics in order. Make sure that your phone number's prominent on your website, upper right-hand corner. It's a clickable link, that there is a web form as well that people can fill out. Add credibility symbols like the Better Business Bureau, Angie's List, any of these other service companies or chambers or groups that you're a part of that are prominent in your area. See if you can get those badges on your website. Ensure you have clear calls to action on each page that speaks to your customer, and tell them what to do. Keep it simple. Get a quote, call now, schedule an appointment. Use special offers and coupons where those make sense to raise the value of the service that you're offering them. Make sure your website is mobile optimized and that it is extremely fast and has an easy click to call function. Leverage your live chat and start giving clients the option to book online with you. Remember, site speed matters. Let's take a look here. Yeah, so it only has those 2 pages, so you can take notes. There will be a replay of this whole thing, though, so you can always go back to it. It'll be on our YouTube channel. And then engage via SMS and phone, and then put marketing automation behind it. So we're not asking you to do more work. What we want you to do is leverage the technology available to work smarter, not harder. Now, same thing, put your action items in here. What 3 conversion elements do you need to implement on your website? And make a little action plan for yourself. And then if you'd like some help, we are available to help you. We can do a strategy session with you, do an online marketing plan review. In that, we'll look at your online visibility. We'll take a look at your most important search terms and keywords. We'll print out a ranking report, show you where you're currently ranking. We'll do an analysis of your online directory listings. How consistent are those? We'll look at your online reviews and reputation. Where can that be improved? We'll analyze your social presence. How consistent is your brand? What are some ways you can improve that? And then we'll also analyze your website conversion effectiveness. And so if you'd like to schedule one of those, you can call our 800 number. You can also go to agentbrandingandmarketing.com/schedule, and that'll schedule you on my calendar, and we'll put that together for you. Next thing we want to go over, back to the ecosystem. Take a look at the ecosystem. What things do you need to work on so that your website can operate at full capacity? Now, if you have a great website, but you're not pushing traffic to it, all the conversion optimization in the world isn't going to change your outcome. So you do want to make sure that you're getting sufficient traffic. Maybe your SEO needs to be improved. Maybe you need to run some paid ads. Maybe you need to retarget. There are some things you may need to do to increase your overall volume to get your lead flow numbers to where you need them to be. And if you didn't watch our 2023 planning webinar, we actually have a spreadsheet we walk you through in that webinar where it will show you for the target numbers you're trying to hit, what your lead flow actually needs to be. And so you can access that on our website or on our YouTube channel. That video is in both locations. Again, if you want to schedule, feel free to just call that number or schedule through the link online. Any other questions that you have? That's all we have for the presentation. I just want to take the next couple of minutes, answer any questions you might have, and if not, we'll wrap it up.